All right, everybody. You first met her on episode 2. You know who we're talking about. That little lady from Crum, Texas, who never closed a transaction, only did rentals. You're about to catch up with her next live on Cliff Notes and see what rocket ship she's on now.
Real estate agents, are you struggling with the day-to-day grind, dialing for dollars, putting in hours of floor time with little to show for it? Are you looking for tips, tricks, and tactics to accelerate your career as an agent that will have you closing more homes, working with more clients, and earning more money than ever before? Hi, my name's Cliff Freeman, and I've spent the past 2 decades of my real estate career running one of the top brokerages in DFW and personally coaching over 1,000 high-performing real estate professionals across North America. I created this podcast to share the strategies and tactics you need to explode your real estate business. I guarantee it.
All right, everybody, I guarantee it, and I guarantee the Cowboys are going to have a winning season next year. Isn't that right, Travis?
That is exactly right. We have a new coach, a new energy in the building. I like it, man.
We got a new coach, new energy. Man, it's going to be a whole different ball game. Dak, hang in there, man. We're going to get you signed up, get you some do-re-mi in your pocket, and then we're going to be taking off, man, to the moon here. Speaking of taking off to the moon, Travis, we have a very special guest today who happened to be our second guest on Cliff's Notes podcast when we were first getting this show rolling.
Yes, sir.
And that episode had one of the largest volume of viewers of any of our podcasts. And I think I know why, because she's a very charming lady, and she's also a rock star realtor. And the cool thing about this is that you've gotten to see her all the way from, I was going to say diapers to Depends, but that's not a good way to put it. But let's say the birth of her real estate career, the real birth of her real estate career, and we're now a little over 6 months down the road, and here she is. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please join me in welcoming Mrs. Johanna McDaniel. Welcome, Johanna. Glad to have you here.
Thanks for having me again.
This is so exciting. And so you and I had a chance to have lunch today, and of course we get together on a regular basis. But boy, I am just totally blown away by what you've been able to do in a very short period of time. You not only are crushing it on the real estate side, but now you've ventured out into other areas of this business. You're even training realtors on how to lead generate and so forth. And we're going to dive into that. So ladies and gentlemen in the audience, you better get you a fresh, nice, thick pad of legal paper here and a new pen, because you're going to want to take a bunch of notes as we unpack how Johanna has been just tearing it up the last 6 months in sales, and how she now has a new focus, a new vision on helping people just like you, get the great start that she has had here in the last time since joining our group. All right, so let's do this, Johanna. For those of the benefit of those in our audience who didn't quite catch that first episode, give us the short story on how you got here and decided to get into real estate. What happened? Just the kind of the Cliff's Notes, if you would, please, on what got you into the business.
We've been through a lot as a family, and with just circumstances, we've had a hard time gaining traction on careers and places to live, and we just have been at the bottom of the barrel financially for a long time. And so it just got to the point to where I was fed up and I was tired, and I needed to go back to work and join my husband in bringing in revenue to the house. And real estate presented itself, and we put together all of our savings and paid for the licensing and everything, and then went forth and got started. And that's where it was. And then 6 months after that, I joined EXP. And it was a very hard start for me, very slow and rocky. And then it was almost like the same week I joined EXP, I was able to start getting a lot of traction with clients and ready to go buyers.
Right, exactly. And, you know, and for those of you who are just out there, don't have a license, contemplating a real estate career, we were chatting a little while ago about how expensive it is. And what were you saying about somebody who goes to the average franchise broker? What kind of expectations do you hit when you go out and or what reality do you hit when you go out and talk to these other brokers?
A lot of times you need to ask, what kind of leads do you generate? A lot of them do generate leads, but it's the type of leads that you want to know. Like, what are the leads? But if you're not in real estate, you don't really know how to ask that kind of question. And so that's something that I would be happy to help with.
What about expenses, though? We were talking about, you know, the money you need to have socked away. And then not only that, a lot of these people charge for remedial training,
everything.
Right?
Yeah. So your basic training at some of the older brokerages will charge you a tuition fee for the training before you're even allowed to get started. And that on top of the $3,000 to $4,000, depending on how you educate for your license, that's a lot of money. I mean, for us, that would have made it non-possible, like it made it impossible for me to get into real estate.
Sure. And to that, you've got to add on the cost of lead generation.
Yeah, lead generation. A lot of times if you opt in or if you're paying a higher split, now the split can, if they're generating the leads, the split can actually be worth it because then you're learning at the same time. But further on down the road, that is still money out of your pocket. Right.
So that's an unanticipated cost that a lot of people fail to recognize in the front end. In fact, we know that traditionally the statistics have borne out that 80% of agents who get their license fail to renew it upon the first renewal. They just simply run out of money or don't have the coaching or the structure that they need to to get past all that. So tell us what was it that when you made the shift, joined our group, joined EXP, what was it that enabled you to get back on path here and really accelerate out of the gate? What are the top things that we brought to the table that helped you really make that jump?
The ability to, within our team, I've had the ability to help all the other new agents that are coming in, things that I have an ability to teach and give back right away, which helps me internalize what I know, like what we were talking about earlier.
Okay. What about lead generation?
And that's the next thing. So that I'm solidifying what I know, and then the lead generation that you're providing is super crucial, especially for new agents that don't have a strong core friends and family group in the area. Or even if you do, like me, but all of your friends and family are realtors, it's going to be really hard to crack into the business if your sphere of influence is also real estate.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. How about some of the coaching and training that you've got? Did it help you get really dialed in on where you need to be spending your time and prospecting?
Absolutely. I think the coaching took me from just scratching my brain and figuring out, I couldn't figure out anything. I didn't know what I didn't know. And it helped me answer a lot of questions on what I was doing wrong, why I was failing consistently and then never improving. It was just constant failure. So I feel like the coaching really boosted me forward as top tier, wonderful coaching.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So we always say the proof is in the pudding, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about numbers. And just to frame this for everybody, when we talk about numbers in real estate, you can look in the rear view mirror and see what you've done in the past. But what we typically do is we have a pipeline that we build over time, and this pipeline is going to have clients, potential clients, people that we convert. We start with suspects. Suspects are people that we don't even know if they want to use us or have the need for a realtor. Then we determine if they are prospects or not. Then they go from a prospect to a lead, from a lead to a client, from a client to a past client, right? So let's talk about what kind of, tell us about your pipeline. What kind of a pipeline have you've been able to build here to start the year with?
Oh my gosh, it is going to be a night and day difference for me from the last year. And I know we don't want to look in the rearview mirror because it was kind of a rocky start for me, but I know in this first quarter of this year, I will blow last year out of the water.
Okay.
Like, no problem.
Let's drill down in those numbers. So tell us, a good way to talk about this would be how many qualified prospects will you be working with to sell a home for the first quarter as of today?
I have a minimum of 5 right now.
Okay.
I have 5 solid, but then I have about 10 more that are possible for this quarter.
Let's just talk about the real live fish in the bucket, okay?
Yeah.
Let's talk about those. So 5, our average sales price is going to be somewhere in what neighborhood?
300 to 400,000.
300 to 400, okay. So if we use, say, 350, would that be a reasonable
Sure.
number?
Yep.
Okay. So and we're going to talk hypotheticals here about apples, and we all know that commissions are not regulated. It's a free market out there. Sherman antitrust, 1932. We all understand that. But what we can do is, just for discussion purposes, let's say that at 350, let's do the math here. What would be 3 times 350? 10.5, something like that?
Sure.
11.5?
I also have an art degree, so numbers.
Okay, so we get the idea, and I don't want to get too specifics, too tied down on the numbers, but let's just say it's north of 10,000.
Right.
Okay, so 5 clients, and if you've got 5 clients right now, so that's for a quarter. So if we were to extrapolate that, say into 12 months, that would be 4 times what you're doing in Q1. So 5 times over 10 is probably going to be closer to 60,000, somewhere around there in gross commission income. Times 4 for the whole year puts you right at about 240.
Right.
Okay. Now that's without sort of, expecting any growth in the pipeline and so forth. And here we are sitting here. Today is January, I don't know, what is this, the 8th, I think?
Yeah.
I believe
Too
it is.
soon to know.
Yeah, it's been Travis, is this the 8th today?
It's actually the 9th today.
It is the 9th.
You were close. You were close.
Well, I'm within a month of the right date, right?
There we go.
So, okay, that's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly.
So you've really got the entire rest of the year ahead of you here to prospect to continue to build that pipeline.
Right.
So we'll talk about a revenue run rate of about 240, let's just say for round numbers 250 for this year. What is your goal for sales for this year?
40 units.
40 units. 40 units. Okay. So you're going to have to pick up the pace a little bit.
Definitely.
Okay. And so let's talk about how you plan on growing from those 5 that you have that are solid prospects right now, all the way up to finishing at 40 for the year. What's your strategy?
So I have 3 people joining my team in the next 2 months, and then so I'm going to be growing my team. So I'll get to leverage kind of a buyer's agent scenario there.
Okay.
And then my husband is also part of that, so he and I both get to count as one. So I get to double myself there. So anything that he does also contributes to my numbers.
Wow. All right. You told me something earlier also about just in the short little over 6 months that you've been here with us at EXP that you've actually helped double your family's income in that period of time, right?
Yeah. I wasn't expecting that. I was hoping to just make about 20 to 30 grand my first year, because that would have been a huge boon to us. Like I said, we started out very low, and so anything was helpful. But at this point now, I'm like, oh no, I want to make like 800 times more than that, so I need to work really hard.
Right, but you didn't know what you didn't know. You didn't really know what was possible, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that you're sitting here with me and with us today, and you're looking at a very real number of about 250 for GCI for next year. Okay.
It's unbelievable. I have no concept of what that number is going to actually feel like when it happens. It's just one of those things where I'm like, I'll take it.
Well, let's talk about what it's going to feel like. You've got 2 beautiful daughters. One of them is back there. Hannah's back there with Trelvis. And they're, what are you guys playing? Video games back there, Trelvis? Little Michael Jordan basketball? Or
I think she's very entertained by this iPad-esque device.
Is she? Which we had
She's extremely entertained.
She's so
by
cute. But Hannah's here, and then Charlotte's in school.
She is. Charlotte's
she
in
is.
school.
Tell us, and your husband Joel, wonderful guy. Met him at our Christmas party. Super family you have. Wonderful family.
I think so.
Tell us what kind of an impact, what kind of change is this going to bring to your life if this comes to fruition? These numbers that are very doable.
I mean, we could move wherever we wanted. We can live wherever we want. We can drive whatever car we want. We don't have to worry about. Here's a big one. You don't have to worry about organic groceries being too expensive. That might seem.
You mean whole paycheck? Isn't that what they call Whole Foods? Something like that?
I mean, it's a big deal. Now, recently cost of organic has gone down, but it's just one of those things where, like, when you're living on so we were on food stamps and government health care when we lived in Seattle. And so when we moved here and our income and stuff started trending in that direction again, that's whenever we were like, okay, no, we got to climb out of this hole.
I've already got the title for the show a year from now. It's going to be called Food Stamps to 400,000.
Oh, wow.
Food stamps to fortune.
There we
Right.
go. Food stamps to fortune. Food stamps to 400,000. I like it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. What an incredible story.
Right. I
So
know.
I
yeah.
remember when we first met, and I mean, you've always had that sunshine in your heart, even though things weren't always as great as they
I don't
could
know.
have been.
I went through a dark patch for a while, so it was. God's definitely brought me out of that, and
Yeah.
it's been a huge life-changing period of time. But,
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you willing to talk about that? at all?
Yeah. So after when we moved to Seattle, I was pregnant with Hannah, and I had her. And Seattle, it's gray 10 months out of the year. I mean, literally 10 months out of the year. And while we do get the same amount of rain here in Texas, I've grown up in Texas where you get legit sun all the time. And so I physically had physical depression, and then I also had postpartum depression, and then we were also away from all of our friends and family in our village that we had grown to know and love, and had the circumstantial depression all at the same time. And so I had some very dark times up there. And so eventually we decided ultimately, for my health and for the health of our family, we just moved back because it was really hard to thrive up there. We made a lot of really great friends and family and people that we just will love forever up there, but we just couldn't do it at the time. And so what I realized is that God, it almost feels like God intentionally made me go through that so that I could come to this place now, because I would have never been here had I not been through that. you know?
Right. Yeah. So, what other things big things has God done in your life?
Well, I mean, real estate. This is the biggest one for me right now because it is forcing me to change and adapt and not get comfortable and to force myself to learn new things and to strive for more and bigger and better so that I can help others. And so we were pastors out of a church up there. Now I feel like my ministry is helping moms be okay with pursuing something else too. There's a lot of mom guilt about going back to work. There's a lot of guilt about not being the perfect homeschool mom or whatever you want to do for your kids, but there's also a lot of freedom in being able to work and provide more things for your family. And not to say the other thing is bad, but there's a lot there's a lot of opportunities that we get now that we didn't have before. So having this money now is just going to be amazing. So if I wanted to take my kids out of school with this new income, we can travel and do the traveling homeschool thing and do real estate as I've leveraged it out when I grow my team. The dream, be like the Von Trapp family and sing songs at different places. Not singing, but you get my drift.
Right. Yeah. No, but we know that when God closes one door, He opens many for us.
And it's been amazing.
Yeah.
It's been
So,
fun.
Well, that's a great testimony. And,
Yeah.
What I've found about successful people such as yourself and others of you in the audience, there's a lot of times there's been a lot of pain. And sometimes, I remember a pastor told me one time, sometimes God has to take you down to rock bottom, so you'll realize who the rock at the bottom is. And we always come back better for that experience. And, my head is going through right now thinking about friends of mine that have had struggles and really tough. I mean, it makes my life look like a cakewalk.
Right.
Sheila Fejeron was on this show. Car wreck. She's been in 8 car wrecks, I think, or something like that. I mean, broken almost every bone in her body. Wow. And goes off and sells 240 houses. A couple of years ago when she joined EXP, and it's now she's in South Africa with her boys on a mission trip and stuff. But some of the incredible adversity that we overcome that really helps us identify and understand who we are, what God's purpose is for us. And that's a very powerful thing. You've heard an analogy or several analogies about how, if you're a child was across the tollway here in the middle of the road and or let's just say that there was a $100 bill that was across the tollway. How hard would you work to go fight the cars to go over there and get that $100 bill and get back? But if it was your child who was over there screaming and bloody,
Right.
you would do anything in the world, right, to go over there and help your child. So it relates back to just what's your why, really, and what drives you, what gets you out of bed. Because real estate is not what it is on HGTV, okay?
No.
It's not go show somebody 3 houses and tell them they got to pick one.
I'm going to show 40 houses.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not, it doesn't come that easy.
It's a long time, yeah.
Right? So a lot of people get in here, they get frustrated
Yeah.
because they don't know that it's 12 to 14 hours of prospecting a week. They don't know that you might have to go on peanut butter and crackers, your first 3 months that you get in the business.
Right.
They don't understand the expense and the time away from your family. Now, you've been able to do this and balance your life really, really well.
As much as I can, because Hannah is not in school right now. I don't really have full-time childcare for her, and I'm not willing to pay for that. That just seems ridiculously expensive. So she's here with me today, but I mean, I bring her to our team meetings, and I'm not a huge proponent of like tons of screen time for my kids, but we have made some compromises there, allowing her to still learn. There's some kindergarten apps and stuff that we've utilized.
Yeah, I don't know what that is that you got her, but I might want to get one of those for myself.
I was thinking C3 might want it.
Yeah, C3. Yeah, he's 24, not months, years. Yeah, he might benefit from one of those too.
It'll definitely keep you both entertained
Yeah.
for a
is that
long
right?
period
Okay.
of time.
All right,
iPads are
for
great.
sure. Well, so let's talk about that work-life balance, Johanna, because you had mentioned to me before the show that your husband's working full-time. He's got to time block his day, but you're really able to sort of spend more time around your workday with your
Yeah.
kids. Tell us how that works.
So my schedule is incredibly flexible. My schedule revolves around my children, and then real estate fills in the gaps. And then I have my evenings blocked off for family dinner time, and anything before or after that, it's open for phone calls or client calls or whatever, up to a reasonable point. But I can see that also getting tighter for my family time, like better for them as I progress down in this business. I'm still in the first 3 year of weeds, so to speak, and it's going to be a lot more work right now. But I can see it. The light is at the end of the tunnel. But yeah, I mean, it's incredibly flexible right now. I work all the time, but it's peppered throughout the day. It's not like I have to be away from the kids and have to hire somebody to go pick up my kids or miss their games or miss dinner or whatever. We're always together.
Right. Well, education is obviously very important to you. You want to educate your kids. You want to raise your kids. You don't want to delegate that job. You want
Right.
to do it yourself. Recently, you partnered with a couple of other great agents in our group, and you guys are going out. You've got like a campaign to go out and educate the other agents here in DFW on how to do better in their own careers
Right.
and how to market. What prompted you? What motivated you to contribute back? I mean, you're brand new in the business. Why in the world would you want to take time out of your calendar to go teach other agents how you've been able to blow your business up on Instagram, for example?
Well, we there's a huge gap. There's a huge learning curve right now where all shoppers are on social media, and we're noticing that the real estate market isn't quite shifting with the times. We're still spending hours and hours and hours every week door knocking, when you could just be sitting at home and clicking a button and creating a Facebook ad. And we're teaching agents how to do that. Save time, put time back in your week so that you can spend more time on the follow-up of these leads rather than leaving a flyer on a door.
I like to call that leverage.
Yeah.
Huge leverage.
Huge.
How many doors can you go knock in an afternoon?
Oh, for me, it's like 30 max. It's so hot. So
Right.
hot in Texas. And I've done that, and I don't like sweating that much, frankly.
Okay.
I don't
I'm not a
like it.
sweater either. Yeah.
I am a sweater. I don't like it.
Yeah. I like
gross.
drinking iced tea and doing Facebook ads, right?
Yeah, Facebook
Right.
ads. But I mean, but the big deal is that you can get in front of a whole lot of people for free on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and any of these other places where you don't have to pay to be, I mean, these places do work, but I mean, like your business networking groups and your, I feel like I'm blanking right now, but it's just a lot of this paid stuff that you're having to do, or having somebody else do it for you in the beginning, is something that a lot of agents can't do. And so especially if you're a newer agent and you still don't have the budget for a high dollar marketing group to come in and handle your stuff for you, we're going to teach you how to do it on your own.
Okay.
And then, but that's not going to always be free. And so I think eventually we are going to have a charge package.
You just brought up a very good point, because right now YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, we're able to do a lot. Now you can boost stuff in Facebook and do ads and so forth, but you can still do a lot of free stuff. Mm-hmm. And I think we all know that, you know, Mr. Zuckerberg is not in this as a 501c3 nonprofit. You know, he's not out here to help the world. He's out here to help his shareholders, and eventually, and that's what I think they've had trouble doing, is figuring out in some ways how to monetize Instagram a little bit. Yeah. Because it doesn't have all the ads and so forth that you'll find in Facebook. But it's coming. It will come. YouTube is a commercial success, and it's going to be even more successful with Google. And right now, you get a YouTube channel for free. This show, by the graciousness of Google, is free to everybody that watches it. Mm-hmm. And it's free for us to put it on there. We've got production costs and so forth. But other than that, it's like having a broadcast channel, you know, and not having to pay for it. That will change eventually, but now's the time to get
milk it while it's available.
You got to do it. You got to take advantage of it. And you know, we often talk about the importance, Johanna, of real estate agents who embrace technology now, as opposed to those who ignore it and don't want to become part of it.
Right.
How do you see the future of real estate as it relates to technology?
Oh my gosh. So there's a new, well, it's not new, but new tech is rolling out in North Texas with the 5G poles being put out, and that's going to interconnect everything. You're going to have high-speed Wi-Fi and advertising and everything constantly in your home, out of your home. There's no escaping it. It's going to be everywhere. So if you didn't like Big Brother before, then buckle up. But it is, for real estate, if you're not already advertising, and if you're already not somebody who's making an effort to be known online, then starting after that major switchover that's coming in the next year or two is going to be very difficult. So I feel like it's going to be a big demarcation line technologically for a lot of agents.
Okay, yeah, because we all know now buyers don't start looking for realtors, do they?
No.
They start, the realtors are an afterthought, right? They start looking at houses. So, all right, so what's the main benefit for somebody, maybe somebody in our audience who's curious about the class that you guys do? What would be the main benefit for them to attend?
Oh, I mean, you get to meet me.
Perfect.
Love that. Yes.
Love it.
And Aaron and Bart, and then you will get it's going to be like drinking from a fire hose. It's so much information. You walk away with a framework blueprint on how to build a Facebook ad, on how to start your YouTube channel, on how to create posts on Instagram. And those are just the beginning ones. We're going to be offering more, but it's just, we're not just telling you need to be using video. We're not telling you need to be, you don't need to be doing this. Of course you know that. We don't need to tell you that.
Right.
That's why you're there. We're going to tell you how to do it.
I mean, that's a ton of value.
It's huge value.
And so how much do you guys charge for that?
Right now it's $0. So, it's restructure.com. It's r-e structure.com, and we have a training calendar, but it's not going to always be free. So sign up now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
When's your next event? Where's it going to be?
It's actually next Tuesday. I believe it's in Plano, and it's going to be on the Facebook ad building.
Okay, so if somebody wanted to sign up, you still have space left?
I think we do. I think we have a few spots available.
So they would just go to the restructure.com. That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you can also find us under the same name on Facebook.
Yeah, and I saw you did an Instagram class this week, right?
We taught our first Instagram class on Tuesday.
Yeah, first one, and it looked like it was sold out.
It was.
You had a lot of,
It was full, and we had a lot of great questions and feedback, and it was so much fun. And I'm actually, after this, I'm going to be debriefing for that and figuring out how we can improve it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Wow, that is terrific. And again, I just want to remind you, in case you joined late, this is Johanna McDaniel, and Johanna actually was on podcast number 2, and she's really only had just a little over 6 months with us on her team. She went from doing no sales, 0 transactions, she did a few leases, to now she's on a run rate to do about 240, 250 in GCI for the next 12 months. So that's quite an amazing story. And if you did just tune in and you didn't hear what we were talking about 5 or 10 minutes ago, you need to go back and re-listen to it, because there were some really important things that we discussed, and about how to get your head and your heart in the right place so that you can really accelerate in this business. All right, I can't believe it, but we're almost out of time here. Let me put the pressure on you here. I want you to pick 3 of your biggest nuggets that you can drop on somebody brand new in the business and lay it on them right now. What's number 1?
You have to prospect every day.
Prospect every day. All right, write
talk to people
that
every
down.
day.
Now, what's prospecting mean to you?
You have to find new people to talk about buying houses with every day.
Okay,
Or
so
selling homes.
conversations about real estate, right?
Yeah.
Is that, I don't want to, I'm just
Yeah.
saying, is that reasonable to
Sure.
put it that way?
Yeah.
Okay. Conversations, number 1. Number 2, what's number 2?
You can do it, and it's so you see these real estate agents that are going on multiple vacations every year. I'm not there yet, but I'm going to be very soon. It's definitely doable for you too,
Okay.
without debt. So
Without
look at
debt.
that.
So,
Yeah.
all right. So what's the key to that?
You have to start now.
Start now, okay?
Yeah.
And you have to be consistent, right?
Yeah, start now and have consistency. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't procrastinate.
What's your third one?
Oh, I don't know. Be willing to learn. Be coachable.
Wow. That one is, in my book as a coach, that's really important, guys. Be coachable. Why is a coach important to somebody who's new in real estate?
Well, it keeps you on track.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah. And to be able to tell me, for me, it's been y'all have been able to tell me exactly what I'm doing wrong with what I'm currently doing, and find my weak points to try to bolster that up or make it better, or get rid of it altogether.
Okay. Did we introduce any new tools for your toolbox for you?
Well, my time blocking calendar for sure, and knowing how to follow up with clients was enormous. That was a
Okay.
big changer for me.
What about USPs, unique selling propositions?
Oh yeah, being able to do a listing presentation and clearly articulate why I am worth the commission I charge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Acting your wage, right?
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Excellent. Okay. Wow, those are 3 huge tips, agents and agents in the making out there in social media land. Johanna, is there anything? You're such a graceful person, and you have a heart for God, and you know, I mean, I know that the dent that you put in the universe here is going to be a big one. Do you have anything you'd like to leave with any of these agents here that are contemplating getting in the business, or in the business and just can't get traction?
I would love to talk with you.
Okay.
I would love to have one-on-one meetings with you and just figure out where your heart is and how we can make it better.
All right. So just once again, restructure. Do you have are you on Facebook or Instagram, obviously?
I am everywhere online at Realtor McDaniel.
At Realtor McDaniel. Okay. So if you'd like to reach out to Johanna, maybe get some time with this lovely person and see if she can sprinkle some light into your life, I think it would be well worth it. She definitely does that for our group here, the Cliff Freeman Group, and we're so excited to have you as a partner and as one of the dear members of our team, and just look forward. It's such a great thing for me at this season in my life, just to watch you flower and grow and become, you know, just a really great representative of this industry and just of just of people in general. You're
Thank
really
you.
a great person, and we appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
All right, Travis, I think we're going to call this a wrap. You have any final words for our football fans out there?
I mean, just the biggest thing, go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys. It's always go Cowboys.
All right. Well, listen, and speaking of which, when can somebody catch you? When are you on the radio next?
So I'll be on the radio tonight, actually, from 12 a.m. to 5, and then Saturday from 7 p.m. to 12.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's
Listen to
exactly
that.
right.
Wow.
Where?
Can you give us that little short out? That little,
You want me to do my intro?
Do your intro. Yeah.
Okay. So I sound something like this on the radio. K104, your home for DD and DFW's hip hop and R&B. Your man Trey G in the building.
Your man Trey G in
it.
the house, in the building right now. And thank you, Trelvis. Trelvis is about to leave the building right now, as we all are. We want to wish you all a wonderful 2020. So grateful to be a part of your lives. Thank you, guys. Come back. We won't be here next week. We're going to be in the middle of the Caribbean, or let's see, next Thursday we'll probably be in Grand Cayman or Jamaica. But you guys have a wonderful week, and we'll catch you when we get back. God bless all of you.